Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Got the old Cub back in the garage today. Gonna do a little bit of work on Flail Mower. Hope you're all having a good Memorial Day weekend. I got a friend who works on the river upstream from where I live. He drives the bus back and forth for all the people who rent canoes. And they had 1,600 canoes yesterday. Like, man, I'm really lucky in the part that we live in. The part of the river we live on, there's basically no boat traffic and hardly any ever canoe or kayak traffic. But man, there's got to be somewhere who has to deal with 1,600 people cruising by their house. Oh, anyway, so I soaked all these little pins. These blades are all just held on by cotter pins, or cotter pins. So I soaked all that stuff yesterday morning with PB Blaster, and every once in a while came through and hit it again just to make sure it was all loose. So I didn't really have too much trouble with it. They're all worn, but it's like, where are you at? Yeah, they're all worn, but I mean, it's gonna be fine. Some of them didn't make it. Probably got about 5 of them that didn't make it. And then over here, there's a couple tabs that had broken off a long time ago, so I gotta make new tabs and weld them on. And then at some point, well, soon I gotta deal with that. Those aren't gonna come out easy, I'm guessing. But maybe they will. I don't know. I hope they do. But I got all new blades for it. And yeah, I think what I'm gonna do with this thing is I'm gonna put it on wheels. I'm gonna make it a trailer. I'll have rear mounted wheels, and then I've got my little actuator that I sort of just showed you last time. I got some wiring on the tractor now so I can actuate the actuator. What I'd like to do is one of 2 ways I could do this. I could either have the back wheels, be actuated by the actuator. Sorry, I like saying that. And that's what I could use to raise and lower my cut height. Or I could have the wheels fixed and have the Towbar pivot, and then have the actuator actuate the Towbar, and kind of like if you think how it's right here, I won't be using the 3-point lift arms anymore, but I could just have a Towbar coming from those same points going to my hitch there, and then and instead of having a solid link from sort of the hitch to the mower, I could have that actuator, and whenever it extends, basically it would break in the middle, and it would bring I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Anyway, but I'm going to do that somehow. And if I don't like how the actuator does it, I can always just put like a jack bolt and then manually adjust the cut height. But yep, that's where we're at. So I'm going to continue working on this, and we'll catch you later. Alrighty, so some progress has been made. I got as many blades on there as I could. I didn't get them all on there because man, I don't know how many times I've run into a situation like this before. There's 46 posts for the long blades and 12 posts for the short blades. So I ordered 5 bags of 10, and I just ordered 1 bag of 10 for the shorts. And that's, obviously 50 and 10. Well, I need 96 and 12. So, or 96 and 24. I ordered half as many as I need to. So I got another set of them coming. Yeah. But if anybody wants some old worn out rusty flail mower blades, just let me know. Now it's the case of just sort of setting this thing up and trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. Now I sort of fumbled around my description of how I'm going to raise and lower the cut height on this, but this should possibly help you understand. So the actuator is going to be bolted to the front of the tow bar. The tow bar is going to come out to these. I'm just going to use these because these are so super duper welded in there that it'd be a pain in the ass to do anything other than use them. And I had these laying around anyway, so I'm just going to use these. I may weld these in there solid, or I may bolt one side sort of to the center. I don't know yet. If I weld them solid, obviously I can't take it off, but why would I ever want to or need to? I don't know. But anyway, so I'll get some, I'll just weld those straight across there. And then what will happen, the front of the actuator will be up higher. It'll have some sort of a structure on it or something, I don't know, but it'll be up a little bit higher. And then whenever that extends, it'll raise the front. And then when it contracts, the front will lower. And that's how height adjustment will happen. And I should have quite a lot of adjustment. This is a 6-inch travel. And yeah. And then the deal is, where do we put the tires? And kind of fumbled around with that a little bit. I've actually got some 4-wheeler tires that I thought would be kind of cool. But when I brought them up here, those tires are basically the same size as the tires on the tractor, so it would look ridiculous. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go over to Tractor Supply and get me some just some, I don't know, wheelbarrow tires or something. I don't know exactly what yet, but I don't know what this little round part is. I'm just kind of curious what it is. If anybody knows, that'd be kind of cool to find out. But originally this had a big roller that went across from here all the way across to the other side. I'm not going to have that, but I'll put some tires. And then the question was, where do you put the tires? The cool thing about this is like adjustable. This has got it's got 4 different positions, so I could have more adjustability. Whatever. How do you do the tires? One way, of course, is to have them stick out here, so that I got a tire like that. And that's okay on this side because I kind of got all this mess over here. But on the other side, I don't have anything, and all that does is just makes the width of this more. Or I could put them on the inside, of course, which makes the width of this thing less, but the tires are getting blasted by clippings and all that other stuff. If you put them on the outside, the tires are constantly going through uncut grass. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it is a thing. The problem with them on the inside is that they're just getting blasted with grass clippings and sticks and rocks and who knows what. I don't know. The cool thing is I could put some on the inside, and if it ends up just being a mess and screwing up my tires, then I can just always put them on the outside, and that's it. Because I'm just going to have an axle. Just an axle will run through, and yeah, that's that. Well, that's where I'm at right now. I need to go check out tires and then come up with a plan. So, alrighty, we'll see you later. I came up with a way to do a number of things that I wanted to do. I got this actuator a long time ago. It was going to be for the steering for this thing. If you look back on the older videos, you'll see what the idea was. I was going to have a drive-by-wire kind of thing. With the thought of maybe being able to drive it like a drone, have a POV camera on it, and sit on my porch and cut the grass. Anyway, it didn't work. So I've got this actuator that's very expensive. It's very expensive, and it's fast. So I want to use it. That's what I'm going to do. And the problem with that is raising and lowering the height of the cutting blades. Is if I just use the actuator and went over a bump or something, I'm going to have a little wheel in the front so it doesn't scalp, so it doesn't scalp my yard. But if I went over a bump or something and that little wheel hit the bump, I need a way for this to float. Now an electric actuator doesn't float. But what will happen is, I'll show you how this sort of goes. But this chain will allow the front of this to come up, and it'll float. That's what that chain does. So I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, without further ado, let's see how this goes. And all right. Now, one thing that is a problem, two things that are a problem. One is, if you look at that angle, it's really extreme when it's high, and this isn't even as high as it will be able to go. So I'm not going to be able to just have a regular old hitch pin like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a U-joint. Like this is a steering shaft out of a Jeep. But if I get a U-joint like this and have it mounted to a receiver hitch, then that would give a lot of deflection up, and then it would also allow it to steer. Because if I have this at a high cut height and then go up a hill with a tractor, that's going to just make that worse. So there needs to be quite a bit of deflection. Another way that I could do that is with something like this maybe, and then have, well, I would have it mounted like this, but there would be a bar that comes out, and this side would be like this, and it would, I don't know, I'm trying to think of different ways to do this, but one way or the other, I need to do something different than that. The other problem is, as this extends, the relative angle between this and this becomes very, very close. So at some point, they're close enough that I'm putting a tremendous amount of force on this chain and not really gaining anything from it. So the fix for that, I do believe, and I'm going to try, is to change this pivot point. I'm going to move this up here. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to try that. And that should give me more travel. I think it will give me more travel, because this is a 6-inch actuator, and at the moment I'm only using about 2.5 inches of actuation. What I would like to do is, whatever the highest cut height is, I would like to have it at the maximum extension of that actuator, and then at the lowest height it would be all the way down. So that way my switch up here, which isn't a momentary switch, I don't know why, that way I could just turn it, I could just flip it all the way up for maximum cut height and all the way down for minimum cut height. The other thing I need to concern myself with, after I get that sorted out, is my back tires. Went to good old Tractors or Harbor Freight, got some of these solid rubber tires, about 10 times cheaper at Harbor Freight than they are at Tractor Supply for the exact same thing. 10-inch tires, and I got two choices. I can mount them out here on the outside, or like that there on the inside. On the inside, I have to concern myself with these flails. They do stick, they come out some. So if it was here, I couldn't have it mounted, say like that. It'd have to be out here somewhere. You know, that's fine. I don't care. But once I've got that sorted out up there, then I will set my blade height, my lowest blade height, and then come up with the mounts for the wheels, and that'll just be that. And I think this is going to work really great. I'm really happy with how this is coming together. So, all right, when next we meet, I should have all that sorted out and be working on back tires. Okay. All right, never mind. We're gonna land this ship. I tested this just now. I had it set roughly there, and it actually worked really, really great. The low end was where it is now, and then that works out to about 2 3/4 inches, you know, of cut height, and then extended all the way out, full extension, made that about 7 inches of cut height. So a 5-inch difference total, and that's great. That's really, really great. That's pretty much exactly what I'm looking for my use. But this is not going to work. This hitch situation is not going to work. I have to come up with something else. And U-joint maybe, or this thing mounted to the tow bar here, mounted directly to the tow bar, and then have a piece that comes out so it'll pivot this way, but then it sort of goes in like a cross. It'll be like a cross, and it'll basically look like this. It'll look like this on the front, but it'll look like that. It'll be like this on the front. It'll be like this on this part. So there'll be I think that might be the way to do it, actually, because then it could pivot up this way, and it would turn like this, or it would pivot down, and it would still turn. So I think this may be the way to do it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this right here, and yeah, I think that's how that's going. I think that's what I'm going to do. But I need to do this first, and then once it is mounted here, then I can go ahead and drill the holes through this thing, which is good because this is thicker anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But we're gonna mount this. We're gonna land this plane for now, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.